History gives us a useful lesson here. There have been IPOs that came to the market with strong speculations but later faced challenges. WeWork is one example, a highly talked about company that failed to meet expectations. Others like Uber Technology struggled in the early days after their listing. Even Facebook saw its share price fall shortly after its IPO before becoming a very successful long-term business. The lesson is not that IPOs fail. The lesson is that results take time, and early movements do not define the future outcome. If and when this IPO becomes available, one practical question is this: how do you actually buy it? Most likely, the refinery will be listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, though there is also possibility of a secondary or future listing outside of Nigeria. So for most local investors, you would need a brokerage account that gives you access to the NGX. Platforms like Bamboo, Trovo, or traditional stockbrokers in Nigeria may provide these access. There are usually two ways people invest in IPO. The first is during the offering period before the company is officially listed, and in this case, you apply through an issuing house, your broker, or a designed platform. Fill out the subscription form and request the number of shares you want. But here is the catch: you may not always get the full amount you apply for because allocation depends on demand. The second option is to wait until the shares begin trading publicly and simply buy them like every other normal stock. And this is where perspective matters, and I want you to listen very well. Whether you buy early or wait until after listing, it is not the most important decision to make in this journey if you decide to go through it. What matters more is the long-term performance of the business itself. Still, entry price matters, especially in early stages where prices can move quickly, and most people don't want to start in red. Well, we usually do. But before focusing on how to invest, it's more important to ask yourself this question: how does this fit into my overall investment strategy? This refinery is closely tied to oil, and while oil is important, it's also cyclical. It is also affected by global events, demand, and supply. So investing heavily in one sector increases risk. This is why diversification matters. Spreading your investment across different sectors and regions reduces dependency on one outcome. So personally, most of my invested capital is in a low-cost global index fund, not because it's exciting, but because it is proven to be stable over the past 120 years. Of course, opportunities like this interest me, but any high-risk investment only takes up a small part of my portfolio, and even then, I approach it carefully at a snail's pace. Because for me, the goal is not just immediate growth, it is consistent growth over time. There is also one simple rule I want you to keep in mind: do not invest money you cannot afford to lose. Not your emergency fund, not money meant for essential needs. Investing should come from stability, not pressure. So when you look at the Dangote Refinery IPO, hold both sides of everything we have discussed in your hand. On one side is scale, ambition, and potential. On the other side is risk, uncertainty, and execution challenges, because both will determine how you go in this. Finally, it's not about deciding whether the IPO is good or bad. It's about understanding what it is and whether it fits your approach to investing, whether it fits your risk, your time horizon, and your level of understanding of the stock market. Take your time, do your research, and make decisions that are informed and not reactive. If you value clear and no hype discussions like this, consider subscribing. No, subscribe and follow me for more. I beg. And let me know, would you consider investing in this IPO? That said, it is hard. And just to be clear, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is simply a historical perspective based on how markets have behaved over time. Always do your own research and make decisions that are right for your situation. Thank you.